They left you out there, didn't they? Alone, bleeding, screaming into a sky that never screamed back. You reached for hands that never reached back, begged for mercy that never came. And in that silence, when the world forgot your name, that's when something ancient started to stir inside you. The cold didn't kill you, the betrayal didn't break you, the darkness didn't swallow you. Instead, it baptized you, turned your pain into fire, your scars into armor. You didn't fade, you transformed. They left you for dead, but death never came. It watched, amused, waiting, testing. The wind howled like a ghost around your broken body. And still, you refused to surrender. You didn't cry for help anymore. You whispered war songs into the abyss. And slowly, you stood. Not because someone lifted you, but because something in you refused to kneel anymore. That's when the pain stopped being punishment and became a weapon. That's when every shattered piece of you started to sharpen into blades they thought silence would crush you. But in that silence you built a kingdom. Every sleepless night, every cold morning, every echo of your own voice bouncing off the walls. They weren't your undoing, they were your blueprint. You didn't break, you built. Your heartbeat became a war drum, your breath a battle cry. You stopped hoping someone would save you and became the monster that haunts the very ground they walk on. Not out of hatred, but because survival turned sacred. The ones who left you, they only taught you one thing: how to never need them again. You don't carry their names, you carry your own in fire. You wear your scars like royal armor, forged in storms and solitude. While they chased comfort, you were building chaos into power. They forgot you, sure, but they'll never escape what you've become. You are the one thing they'll never understand, because you are not like them. You never were. Now look at you, standing in silence, not because you're weak, but because you don't need to speak. You are the proof that pain can build kings, that the forgotten can become legends. You don't need applause. You are not their story. You are your own myth. And when they finally see you again, they won't recognize you, because the boy they left behind in the cold, he died. The warrior standing in the fire now, he was born there. They wanted you soft, predictable, tame, but you kept waking up with rage in your chest and thunder in your gut. You stopped asking for a way out, you carved one. Brick by brick, mile by mile, you dragged yourself through the mud, bare-knuckled, bare-souled. And every time the world pushed you down, you rose with eyes darker, sharper, hungrier. You stopped, crying for rescue, and became your own savior. You don't run from the storm anymore. You are the damn storm. They wanted you obedient, smiling on cue, grateful for scraps, but you weren't built for leashes. You were born with iron in your soul. Every time they told you to settle, something inside you screamed. Not words, warnings. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to fracture cages, and when they tried to smother your fire, they forgot. Pressure doesn't kill heat. It turns it into something volcanic. You were never supposed to survive what you went through. And that's the point. You did it anyway. You dragged your spirit across glass and gravel, spit blood on the ground, and kept crawling. No spotlight, no cheers, just grit, just will. You walked alone so long the silence started sounding like home. And now, when people look into your eyes, they don't see kindness, they see consequence. Because kindness without strength is currency for the weak. But you turned suffering into discipline, rage into clarity. They tried to shame your hunger, tried to civilize the chaos in your bones. But that chaos, it became your compass. You didn't just climb out of hell, you memorized the map. Now when you speak, your voice doesn't beg, it commands. You don't just fight, you end wars. You aren't what they wanted, you are what they fear. Because you know the truth now. Comfort is a coffin, and you were never meant to die asleep. So, go ahead, let them call you too much, too intense, too loud. That's what happens when you stop asking for permission and start walking like you own the path. You don't just weather storms anymore. You summon them. Every scar, every wound, every brutal chapter. They weren't curses, they were crowns. You are not tame, you are not soft, you are not safe. You are the storm they prayed would never come. Remember the nights you shook in silence, praying the pain would end? Good, hold on to that, let it fuel you. That loneliness, that was your crucible. No one came to save you because no one was meant to. You were meant to burn alone, to melt down the weak version of yourself and reforge into something the world couldn't name. You weren't abandoned, you were chosen to rise in fire, not in comfort. Every scar on your body is a verse in a sacred story only warriors can read. They didn't leave you behind. They just weren't built for where you were going. You walked through valleys where shadows had teeth, and every step dared you to give up. But you didn't. You bled, but you didn't beg. You screamed into the void, and it echoed back silence. And in that silence, you met yourself, not the version they told you to be, the real one, the one forged in rage, sorrow, hunger. You didn't survive the darkness, you became part of it. You drank the poison and spit it back as fire. You learned. And the growth doesn't come in light, it comes in chaos. In the nights you almost ended it. In the mornings you got up anyway with cracked bones and a cracked spirit. You didn't chase comfort. You hunted purpose, no matter the cost. And now you move different. You see through people. You smell weakness like blood in the air. You don't talk about pain. You are pain refined, and people sense it. They step aside without knowing why, because warriors carry an energy the world forgot how to name. You were never meant to be soft. The world lied when it told you to be gentle first. You were born for war, inner war, soul war, legacy war. And every time life tried to bury you, it didn't know you were a damn seed. Now look, you're growing thorns, steel vines. You're not here to blend in. You're here to command, to lead, to make the weak question their entire existence. You are a mirror to those who fear their own reflection. And when they see you, they see everything they could have been, but weren't willing to die for. So hold your head high, warrior, not because you're proud, but because you paid in full. You walked through a hell you didn't deserve just to find the parts of you that no one else could reach. That's not trauma, that's alchemy. And now you are untouchable. Not because you're perfect, but because you've been destroyed and built yourself anyway. You don't wear a crown, you wear the silence of a man who knows. That kind of power doesn't roar, it whispers, and its voice sounds a lot like yours. They don't understand what lives inside you now. It's not hope, it's not dreams, it's something older, raw, primeval. It doesn't beg, it doesn't bend, it devours. You've stared into the abyss, and it blinked first. You've learned that the most dangerous man isn't the loud one. It's the silent one who's felt every kind of death and kept walking. You are not built to blend in. You are built to break patterns, to burn the old world and build something holy from the ashes. You stopped chasing peace the day you realized war is where you found clarity. You weren't made for the soft life. You were made for the edge, where things break, where men are forged or forgotten. That force inside you, it's not motivation, it's not passion, it's a living thing, ancient, starving, and relentless. It wakes up before you do. It doesn't care about applause or trophies. It only wants one thing, evolution. Not survival, ascension. It wants you stronger, colder, sharper. The old you is dead, buried beneath every time you kept going when you shouldn't have. You didn't learn discipline in comfort. You earned it by dragging yourself out of the grave when no one was watching. You found power in the silence, in the long walks alone where every voice told you to quit. And now you move like a ghost with unfinished business. There's no fear left in you, only calculation. You don't threaten, you show up, you don't react, you absorb. Because the most lethal man in the room isn't the one flexing. It's the one with eyes like winter and a soul like sharpened iron. That's who you've become. They won't understand your silence. They'll confuse your calm for weakness. Let them, because by the time they realize what you are, it'll be too Late, you don't seek revenge, you become it. You don't swing first, you just finish it. That energy inside you is ancient, not made in this generation, but resurrected from ancestors who bled for every inch of land, breath, and honor. And that blood remembers. It speaks to you, not in words, but in instinct, in the stillness before, the storm, in the moment right before you rise. So let them laugh, let them doubt, let them pray you never wake up fully. Because when you do, the world changes. You're not here to participate. You're here to dominate, to shatter illusions, and make men remember what fear feels like again. You are not just alive, you are awakened. You are not a man among men. You are a reckoning in the shape of one. And when they ask what drives you, tell them nothing. Because some fires were never meant to be explained, only felt. You are fury with direction, chaos with purpose, precision, in the form of violence, mercy in the form of discipline. When they see you now, they feel it, that pressure, that storm surge, and they don't know whether to fear you or follow you. You are no longer the man who knocks. You are the door, the wind, the fire behind it. When you walk in, silence follows, not out of respect, but survival. You are the storm that ends illusions. You weren't born like this. You were shattered into it. Every lie you believed, every betrayal you swallowed, every time they underestimated your silence, it built something deeper than rage. It built truth. Truth wrapped in thunder. You learned to stop warning them. You became the thing warnings were made about. You don't flinch, you don't pause. You enter like a reckoning, inevitable, unspoken, biblical, and when you speak, the ground shifts, not because you're loud, but because your words are heavier than their entire delusion. They spent years trying to contain you, to box you into mediocrity, to convince you that your fire was dangerous. And they were right. It is, but not to you, to them. You don't fit in their systems because you were never built to obey them. You were built to break them, to burn the lie of safety they worship. You move like a wave that swallowed every storm it's ever met. You don't announce your arrival. You arrive like prophecy fulfilled, like vengeance dressed in calm. You are the silence before the crash, the clarity in chaos, the ghost in the thunder. People look at you and don't see scars, they see warnings. Your presence is an indictment of their comfort, a reminder that peace without power is slavery, dressed in soft words. You didn't come to make them feel safe. You came to wake the wolves. You came to drag the sleeping warrior out of the boy. You came to rip the curtain down on their illusions and force them to face what they buried. You are the ending they didn't plan for, the chapter they didn't write. And now it's too late, because you're already inside the walls. You don't need their applause. You don't even need their understanding. You've buried too many versions of yourself to care. You speak in motion, in fire, in discipline sharpened like a blade. You move through this world like a storm that's already won, not because you're perfect, but because you're unstoppable. When the wind rises and the thunder rolls, it doesn't ask for permission, neither do you, because you are not a man trying to become something. You are something that men become when they have nothing left to lose and everything left to prove. This world worships weakness. It crowns the victim, but not you. You are the one who swallowed his pain and spat out purpose. They tried to chain you to your past, but you melted the chains and used them as weapons. Your trauma isn't your cage, it's your crown. You've learned to speak the language of fire and solitude. You've kissed the edge of madness and came back with clarity in your eyes. You are not healed, you are forged. They told you healing meant forgetting, moving on, smiling in the face of your past like it never scarred you. But you knew better. You knew healing wasn't about pretending. It was about integrating the rage, the ache, the silence. You didn't need therapy. You needed transformation. So you stepped into the furnace and let the pain mold you. No shortcuts, no safe spaces, just fire and fists. And when it was done, you didn't come out softer. You came out sharp enough to cut the world open. You remember the nights that didn't end. The mornings where breath felt like betrayal. You remember clawing your way out of the grave they built with your name on it. And now, every breath you take is rebellion. Every move you make is defiance. You walk through this life wearing your suffering like sacred armor, unapologetic, unashamed. You don't hide your wounds, you weaponize them, because you understand something most people never will. Rock bottom isn't the end, it's the forge where kings are made. You learn to stop explaining your pain, because pain doesn't need explanation. It needs mastery. And mastery takes blood. It takes solitude so thick it silences your inner coward. You had to face yourself in a mirror cracked by trauma and still whisper, "I'm not done." That's not recovery, that's resurrection. You didn't bounce back, you rebuilt, bone by bone, brick by brick, mind sharpened, heart sealed, soul reignited with purpose, darker than vengeance and brighter than salvation. Now you walk like a storm. In chains, you turned into gold. Your past doesn't define you. It fuels you. Every failure was a blueprint, every betrayal a map. And now your silence speaks louder than their excuses. You're not here for pity. You're not here to be understood. You're here to dominate, to conquer, to transform the battlefield into a temple. You are not just alive, you are awakened, and those who once pitied you will kneel to the man who refused to stay broken. You don't want applause. You want war, not with others, with yourself. The only enemy is the version of you that settles, that whines, that hides. Kill him daily. Bury him in the gym, in the grind, in the discipline. Sharpen your soul like a blade. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be undeniable. When you look in the mirror, don't see a man. See a force. See the storm. You are not chasing peace. You are chasing greatness, and that comes wrapped in fire. You wake up and the war is already raging. Before the world opens its mouth, before the first message lights your screen, you feel it. That shadow version of you, the lazy one, the weak one, the liar, the excuse maker. He's whispering already. Sleep a little more, eat the junk, skip the grind, it's fine. Kill him, don't negotiate, don't explain. Drag him out of bed and into the fire. Throw him beneath the weights, drown him in cold showers. Silence. Him in every rep, every refusal, every act of defiance. This isn't self-improvement, this is spiritual war. And you either become the executioner or you become the victim. Most men want comfort, applause, someone to say good job for doing the bare minimum, but not you. You don't want the pat on the back. You want the pain, the drag, the ugly hours no one sees, because you know that's where the real crown is carved. You're not chasing trophies, you're chasing transformation. You want to break the man you were again and again until the mirror no longer shows flesh, it shows fire. You didn't come to be liked, you came to be forged. To step into the arena of your own weakness and rip the softness out of your bones. You are not a man, you are not a name, you are a storm. A walking collapse of old selves. A force of silence, discipline, and violence against mediocrity. Your soul is a blade honed in heartbreak, sharpened through rejection, polished with the blood of your failures. Let the world misunderstand you. Let them mock you. Let them shrink when they feel your presence. That's how you know you're on the path. Greatness isn't found in peace. It's born in pressure, in punishment, in the lonely pursuit of more. And you, brother, were not made to be tame. There will be days when your body aches and your mind lies to you. Days when quitting feels like relief. Good, that's the threshold. That's the gate. That's where weak men fold and the real ones rise. Dig your hands into the dirt, bare your teeth, scream if you have to, but don't you stop. This life is not for the soft-hearted. It is for the savage who walks into the dark willingly, with no guarantee of reward. You want to be elite? Then bleed for it, burn for it, shatter for it, until your reflection doesn't flinch, until your demons ask you for mercy. Understand this. Discipline isn't punishment, it's resurrection. Every cold morning, every denied craving, every lonely night grinding, it's not a loss, it's a rebirth. You are carving the man who can carry thrones on his back. You are building a presence that silences rooms, not with noise, but with weight. Men will ask how you did it. Let them. They won't understand that you died for this, over and over again, that you buried weakness in silence and gave birth to war every single day, that you didn't find power, you became it. So tomorrow, when the alarm hits, when the doubt creeps, when the comfort calls, choose war again. Choose the storm, not out of hate but hunger, out of purpose, because every day is a battlefield and the enemy wears your face. You're not chasing peace. That's for men who've already given up. You're chasing greatness, and greatness only answers to fire. No applause, no finish line, just a man at war with himself, undefeated, unseen, unshaken. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be undeniable. So rise now one more time, not because it's easy, but because it's holy, because pain is your altar and sweat is your prayer. Let your roar echo through eternity. Let the doubters choke on the dust of your footsteps. You were never meant to blend. You were meant to conquer. So when they ask what you are, don't explain it. Just smile and let the thunder speak for you.